It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today we're going to be showing you what I call Team Lockdown. Reason is because of the new Silence skill change. So, what happens now is Silence acts very similar to the way Frost Queen's Freeze does. When a cookie is hit with Silence, it will stop cooling down its skill for that amount of time. Both Cream, Unicorn, and Latte have a silence of 1 second. But Affogato enhances debuffs, which means that we can actually extend that just a little further. Frost Queen still has the freeze, same thing, extending it by using Affogato here. So the idea here is, even though Cream Unicorn is really good as a solo healer, we want just enough heals to make sure that Cream Unicorn can still live, so that we can have a skill rotation of silence, silence, freeze, silence, silence, freeze. So that's the idea here, is not allowing the opponent to activate their skills so that we overwhelm and take over the battle. Now, on the enemy team here, they've got a lot of things in advantage for them. They've got 2 shield users, so they can apply shields that we can't dispel. They have shield destruction, so that if we were to get shields, which we can't, CRK could take care of them. They have the injury, so that we cannot heal as much because of the total HP reduction. They have stuns from Sea Fairy, which deals quite a lot of damage. They have attack bonuses from Eclair, and they have speed from Caramel Arrow with a lot of critical damage. So what is on our team that specifically gives us a chance to fight against their team? We have Cream Unicorn giving critical resistance against Caramel Arrow. We have Cotton Cookie giving stuns to their front line. We have Affogato, either probably taking down Eclair or Sea Fairy, whoever their highest attacker is. We have Frost Queen to provide freeze and freeze damage. And then Latte to pull everyone into a central area with the glyphs and silence the enemies and deal more damage from the acquired buffs that have happened because of this recent update. So let's show you what happens. And then we'll talk about the toppings after. So, Latte is going to activate with the silence. We're going to have freeze from Frost Queen. We're going to get the skills from the cookies for healing. Cream Unicorn is going to activate silence on the back end. And all that's left is their Dark Account. So, they did get skills off because we do not have strong enough toppings to make it completely viable. And I'll explain that in a second. So, we didn't do a lot of damage here. But we also didn't give them a lot of time to do anything. Only 70,000 HP healing from Pure Vanilla. We shut down Pure Vanilla's healing altogether because Pure Vanilla takes a long time to activate. So we almost could have shut down their entire damage front too, but we weren't fast enough. So let me explain what toppings we're running now and how we could make it better, how we could make it work against more teams, because right now the toppings are not set up to do it quick enough. So therefore, we don't have a chance to do it fast enough in a high-stake meta game right now. So this is not a meta team right now. This is not something that's going to compete against the meta. It's a fun defense team, though. Throws people off, especially if you hide specific cookies. People are like, what is going on here? So, with Affogato, if we could, we would, honestly, with the entire team, we would run cooldown toppings. The entire setup, we would run cooldowns if we wanted this to truly shine in a lockdown situation. So if we could, we would run cooldowns on everybody, and we would run as max cooldown as possible, preferably 24% and plus, and of course damage resistance for the survivability, because you're probably still going to have to survive another round depending on what's going on. So as you can see, we have high cooldowns on Latte and Cotton. We have almost still high cooldowns on Cream Unicorn, but we need cooldown on Frost Queen. We have none, and we have only 8% on Affogato. Now the other thing that we need that would make it very, very powerful is we need high attack speed too. Attack speed is a very dangerous substat because in most situations you're taking your animations too quickly, making it so that you're more vulnerable to attacks and skills from the enemy. But because what this team is doing is special, you're not actually caring about that. If you get the animations to go off very quickly with high cooldown, high attack speed, and you activate before the enemy can even start, there's nothing you need to dodge. The activations, the skills won't have even started because you'll paused that skill cooldown timer with your silences and your freeze. And if you're fast enough, if you have high enough cooldown, you have high enough attack speed, you'll rotate between the skill sets so that they won't ever get to activate their skills. Now, this is going to take monumentally impossible to craft toppings. It's going to be very difficult because you're building attack speed, cooldown, and damage resistance. That's a tough sell. That's a very tough sell to build that kind of setup. So it's not something I recommend anyone try to build right away because it's going to be very hard to build. But look out for it. It can become something in the future for sure. It's something I'm going to be working towards building. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all, especially because the time it takes to get toppings, the time it takes to get them built and built nicely, it'll be tough. It'll be really tough getting 25% cooldown, 30% damage resistance, 15% attack speed. That's a tough build on 5 cookies. So please don't take it as something that's like, oh, I can do that right now. If you can, great. I want to see that. I want to see your team run it because I have high hopes for it. Your animations should be so quick, your cooldown should be so fast that you never let the team even do anything. At that point, the only people that can stand against you is Pumpkin Pie, maybe a really quick Caramel Arrow, Ginger Brave, and Kumio. You know, fast cooldowns. Really fast cooldowns. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be potential threats at that point. Because if you stop the skills and your skills are going off, you're dealing leagues of damage that the cookies are not dealing. They're only dealing auto attack damage at that point. If you're slowing down the skill to where they can't activate, nothing left to do. Now granted, if you don't have these skills cycling fast enough, you're going to need someone like Espresso for interruption, which in that case you can change out Cotton Cookie for Espresso, but honestly you're going to need that high damage resistance to make sure that that is doable before you do, because once you make that change out, then you silence the skill, you freeze the skill, you interrupt it completely so it's completely skipped, and then you repeat. It's a very fun, powerful duo, but it's a huge topping investment if you want to make it completely work. I showed you a battle that we were able to make it work, and only just barely. You only got to see it with Pure Vanilla. You got to see that Pure Vanilla didn't even have a chance to get the heals off. Because right here, silenced, frozen, silenced again. Done. Pure Vanilla's gone. The shields are gone. There's nothing. We didn't even lose Latte this time. Crit was in our favor this time, so they had less critical chances. But they didn't even have a chance to put the shields up. Pure Vanilla didn't get to hit those huge bursts healing because we just took it away. 100,000 versus 2 million. That's because even though their team was taking damage, we stopped the skill completely. So that's the fun of it. That's the enjoyment I get from what this team build is, and that is the overall goal that I want to push it towards in the late future. And there might even be units that by the time I get toppings built that add to this level of team, but it's a fun build. I think it's something that if you don't have much to do, you might enjoy it. And I think you might have a lot of fun with it too. Especially against things that really, really rely on skills. So like Tower of Chaos cookie battles, this would be a fun team to do because they just won't even have the option to run their skills. They'll be too slow. So, tell me what you think in the comments. Is it a team you would ever even consider running if you had the perfect toppings? Do you think it's something that you would even build the perfect toppings for? Tell me in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a wonderful day.